General Oluyede, now CDS. National Assembly reviews proposals for 55 new states, 278 councils. Olubadan inaugurates Economic Committee on Mariband Industries. "25 killed in South India bus crash." Good evening and thanks for joining us on the news around the world. I am Josephine Oluwabumi, and on the sign language corner is Shakirat Ogundeji. President Bola Tinubu has approved major changes in the leadership of Nigeria's armed forces in a move aimed at strengthening the nation's security architecture. Under the new appointments, General Olufemi Oluyede replaces General Christopher Musa as Chief of Defense Staff. Major General W. Shaibu becomes Chief of Army Staff. Air Vice Marshal S.K. Aneke takes over as Chief of Air Staff, while Rear Admiral I. Abbas assumes office as Chief of Naval Staff. The Chief of Defense Intelligence, Major General E.A.P. Udayende, retains his position. The President commended the outgoing service chiefs for their patriotic service and dedicated leadership, while urging the new appointees to justify the confidence reposed in them and uphold the professionalism, vigilance, and unity that define the armed forces of Nigeria. All appointments take immediate effect. The National Assembly has commenced deliberations on far-reaching constitutional amendments that could see the creation of 55 new states and 278 additional local government areas across the country. Barrow's Special Advisor on Media and Publicity, Ismail Mudashiru, disclosed this in a statement issued in Abuja today. Speaking at the opening of a two-day joint retreat of the Senate and House of Representatives Committee on the review of the 1999 Constitution in Lagos, Deputy President of the Senate, Senator Barrow I. Jibrin, reaffirmed the legislature's commitment to delivering people-centered and timely amendments to the Constitution. Rao, who also chairs the Senate Committee on Constitution Review, urged lawmakers to work towards fulfilling their promise of transmitting the first set of amendments to the State Houses of Assembly before the end of the year. Rao noted that members are expected to resolve these issues and make recommendations to both chambers, expressing optimism that progress could be achieved within the two-day session. The House of Representatives has passed for second reading a bill seeking to amend the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission Establishment Act 2004 to confer institutional dependence on the Anti-Corruption Agency. The resolution of the House followed the consideration of a bill sponsored by Plateau State lawmaker Yusuf Gagdi during Thursday's plenary. Among other provisions, the proposed legislation seeks to insulate the EFCC from political control and align its operations with global anti-corruption best practices. Leading the debate on the general principles of the bill at a session presided over by the Deputy Speaker, Benjamin Kalu, Gagdi said the amendment aims to modernize the EFCC's legal framework to enable it to respond to the multi-layered patterns of financial and economic crimes across the country. One of the proposed amendments seeks to curtail the president's power to remove the EFCC chairman, which under the current law can be done at the president's sole discretion. A magistrate court sitting in Kuje, Abuja, has granted bail to human rights activist and publisher of Sahara Reporters, Omoyele Sowore, alongside several protesters arrested during the Hash-Free Nnamdi Kanu Now protest in the Federal Capital Territory. The court presided over by Magistrate Abubakar Umar Said issued the bail order on Friday after the defendants were arraigned on charges bordering on unlawful assembly and disturbance of public peace. According to the ruling, the court granted Sowore and the other protesters bail in the sum of 500,000 naira each, subject to the condition that they present a verified national identification number, ININ. The magistrate also directed the defendants to present their 3-year tax clearance certificates and submit their passports as part of the bail conditions. Sowore was arrested on Thursday by operatives of the Nigeria Police Force after leaving the Federal High Court in Abuja. Meanwhile, human rights activist and ash-free Nnamdi Kanu now campaigner Omoyele Sowore has been rearrested by the Nigerian police shortly after his court appearance at the Kuje Magistrate Court on Friday. Sowore, alongside Nnamdi Kanu's brother, Prince Emmanuel Kanu, a former member of Kanu's legal team, and 10 others had earlier met their bail conditions. The court granted them bail in the sum of 500,000 naira each, with 2 charities residing in the Federal Capital Territory and possessing valid identification and 3 years of tax clearance. Despite fulfilling the bail conditions, only Sowore was reportedly picked up and whisked away by police officers to the Kuje prison shortly after the proceedings. He is expected to be arraigned on Monday, October 27, on a fresh charge related to his claim that President Bola Tinubu is a criminal. We'll now take a short commercial break. Please don't go away.
Feel free to imagine a world with no boundaries. Just you and your dreams, running wild and free. Oh no, life can be easy. Smooth connection with the correct.
Nivea Black and White deodorant, now with 72-hour protection. But what does that mean? 3 cities in 3 days and no fear of sweat and odor. 120 dances with skin as smooth as the moves. Sweat, stain and odor protection. Nivea Black and White deodorant. Skin is for embracing life. Nivea is for skin.
Breaking news. The home is under attack by stains, disease-causing germs, and so much more. An all-out war. But not for long, because Hypo is here.
Dirty floors and surfaces.
Not on our watch.
Protect every day with Hypo.
Dirty and stains don't be do shakara. We got the remedy, original palasa. Hypo, go hypo. Protect your home every day with Hypo. Cleaning every surface, sanitizing home. Shine every corner, enter every corner. Your sitting room, kitchen, even the toilets. For cleaning, Hypo now. No lose guard, protect your home with Hypo now.
And just like that, the day is saved. Germs always find a way back.
No greed. Protect every day with Hypo.
Hypo, go Hypo.
Nivea Black and White deodorant, now with 72-hour protection. But what does that mean? 3 cities in 3 days and no fear of sweat and odor. 120 dances with skin as smooth as the moves. Sweat, stain and odor protection. Nivea Black and White deodorant. Skin is for embracing life. Nivea is for skin.
You're welcome back. The Olubadan of Ibadan land, Oba Rashidi Ladoja, has inaugurated the Monarch Investment and Economic Committee a strategic team set up to drive economic revival and urban renewal in the ancient city. The inauguration ceremony took place at the Olubadan Palace, Okearimo, Ibadan, with members of the Olubadan in council in attendance. The newly formed committee is chaired by Chief Mrs. Onikepo Akande, a two-time Minister of the Federal Republic, while former head of service of the Federation, Professor Dapo Afolabi, serves as co-chairman. Oba Ladoja described the team as a blend of top business leaders and industry experts with vast experience capable of restoring Ibadan's economic strength. Speaking during the inauguration, Oba Ladoja lamented the disappearance of once thriving industries that positioned Ibadan as a major economic hub in the past. The monarch said the establishment of the committee was part of his broader vision to revive the city's industrial base and create sustainable job opportunities. He expressed confidence that the collective expertise of the committee members will help reposition Ibadan for economic growth and attract new investors to the city. Our finance sector technocrat and current pro-chancellor and chairman governing council of Abiola Ajimobi Technical University, Dr. Adeshola Adedunton, has urged Nigerians to treasure and protect the democracy that has been practiced in the country since 1999. He stated this while speaking on BCOS television flagship program, Guest.
Interest in the business world, which made the transition seamless. He expressed fulfillment in his decision to venture into finance, having reached the peak of his career.
I had the passion for medicine because I had the brain and I had the capacity. So veterinary medicine for me was effortless. But you see, as you begin, I don't know what the university is. And that's why I said it was a privilege. Maybe if I didn't have a father who had those investments and got exposed to those annual reports, my story today most likely would have been different. Okay. Completing my youth service, I was actually in a dilemma because I was commercially very successful in that 1 year that I practiced veterinary medicine. So the temptation was to continue in that line. But I allowed, for some while, I got the divine guidance to say, stay with the vision that you've crafted for yourself in the last 18 months or so, which was find a way to move away from veterinary medicine into management.
He stated that the world is currently undergoing another industrial revolution, this time driven by digital innovation, noting that any institution that fails to innovate would eventually collapse. He also emphasized that solutions from yesterday may no longer work today.
Any institution that failed to innovate will die. Because the answers and the solutions that worked yesterday, they would or may not necessarily be the right solution to today. The market fundamentals have changed such that you now have indigenous firms that are also doing extremely well. That's why you have the likes of Dangote, the likes of Boa, who 40, 50 years ago were not there, but they are there today. So is that at the heart of that is the fact that the space, the economic space is rapidly changing. You must change rapidly along with those changes. You must innovate.
Speaking on his role as chairman and governing council of Abiola Ajimobi Technical University, Dr. Adeduton noted that the focus of the council and school management is on expanding the university scope and enhancing growth. He said he believes education remains the most effective tool to reduce poverty and increase the wealth of nations. Dr. Adeduton emphasized that his legacy is to make a significant impact in improving the quality of life of people around him. The guest was later hosted to a reception by the BCOS management, while the general manager, Mr. Goke Adelakun, on behalf of the chairman, Mrs. Dotun Olaitan, appreciated Dr. Adeduton for his time and philanthropic gestures to the society. The BCOS general manager presented a corporate gift to the guest on behalf of the corporation. Olamide Owolabi, BCOS News.
It's another time out. Please stay tuned.
It cleans, it shines, long-lasting freshness. While liquid detergent removes stop stains. Wow!
all-in-one. All you need in a detergent.
If you know, you know. And if you don't, more better pay attention. Junior Black Friday is here. It's the one time of the year where you can get all the things you've always wanted for way less. Because Jumia's biggest deals are about to drop on everything from phones and electronics to clothes, beauty products, and so much more. Do pass yourself and get whatever you want and more with no regret, just savings. Mark your calendar so you don't miss out on Jumia Black Friday this year. Download the Jumia app now. Jumia, joy delivered.
Feel free to imagine, no worry, no boundaries. Just you and your dreams, running wild and free. Oh no, life can be easy. Smooth connection with the correct.
Welcome back. The Oyo State government has dismissed the federal government's recent claim of ownership over certain landed properties within the state, insisting that such properties fall under its jurisdiction. The State Commissioner for Lands, Housing and Urban Development, Mr. Williams Akin Fumilayo, made the clarification during a press conference held at the ministry on Thursday. Details of the event are presented by the Governor's Office correspondent, Olalekan Sulaiman.
At a press conference in Ibadan, the State Commissioner for Lands, Housing and Urban Development, Mr. Williams Akin Fumilayo, clarified that all lands allocated to the federal government after the 1978 Land Use Decree remain subject to the control, planning, and oversight of the state government. Akin Fumilayo noted that several of the properties in question had been abandoned, underutilized, or diverted from their original purposes. A situation, he said, had created security and developmental concerns in their host communities.
Asidem, which they are referring to, that belongs to the Federal Ministry of Housing and Urban Development, it's a tenant of Oyo State. The land was given to Asidem in 1983, to be precise January 8. And there is a certificate of occupancy which was issued to them by Oyo State, whereby it is expressly stated on the certificate of occupancy that they should pay annual rent of, which is nominal, nothing less than 10 kobo every year to the state. This implies that their tenants were the landlord. Hence, the status still maintain that they are the lessee, we are the lessor. We are the one that used CFO to assist them in 1983.
He stressed that the state government reserves the right to revoke such allocations to ensure they are put to productive use for the benefit of residents. The commissioner further urged the public, particularly investors, to disregard the federal government publication, which he described as capable of discouraging investment in the Oyo State.
It has to do with the Federal Housing Scheme Program in Shaki, which is about 90.6 hectares of land. I think this was given out as a scheme established during the days of former President Shehu Shagari, whereby the federal government built houses in there on a portion of the land which they have sold. The federal government sold them out. But however, there are still a big parcel of land which is undeveloped in Shaki right now. And if they are not putting it to better use in the interest of people, the people of Oyo State, in particular Nigeria in general, they say we'll take it over. We can't have a jungle in the city.
The federal government had earlier published a notice in a national daily asserting ownership of 6 landed properties across Oyo State, including African Regional Center for Manufacturing, Olodo, Ibadan, Federal Low-Cost Housing Estate, Idiayunre, Federal Housing Scheme, Shaki, National Strategic Green Reserve, Iyana Church, Monoton, Radio Nigeria Property, Bashorun, Ibadan, and the National Horticultural Research Institute Property at Leshiloye, Ibadan, warning that the sites were not for sale. Olalekan Sulaiman, BCOS News.
In a move aimed at improving the quality of education and creating a more conducive learning environment for students within the area, the Oyo State government has commissioned a newly renovated block of 6 classrooms at Community High School Oshegere in Egbeda local government area of the state. Speaking at the commissioning ceremony, the state governor, Engineer Seyi Makinde, represented by the State Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, Honorable Segun Olayiwola, admonished teachers and students to take ownership of the school property, urging them to maintain the facilities and promote disciplined learning environment. He also cautioned students against hooliganism and other forms of misconduct, warning that any erring students would face strict disciplinary measures. In his remarks, the executive chairman of Egbeda local government, Honorable Sikiru Sanda, expressed satisfaction over the completion of the project, describing education as the bedrock of development and the best legacy that can be given to children as future leaders. He noted that the initiative reflects the vision of Governor Seyi Makinde, whose administration has made education one of the 4 cardinal pillars of development in Oyo State. The chairman also urged the management and staff of Community High School to make good use of the renovated classrooms and ensure regular maintenance of the facilities to preserve their longevity. It's now time for another commercial break. Please don't go away.
To imagine a world with no boundaries. Just you and your dreams, running wild and free. Oh no, life can be easy. Smooth connection with the correct.
It cleans, it shines, long-lasting freshness. One liquid detergent removes stop stains. Wow, liquid detergent. Wow, no residue.
New Wow Liquid Detergent. Complete 5-in-1. All you need in a detergent.
There. Academic activities have resumed at the University of Ibadan, following the suspension of the 2-week warning strike by the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU. The decision to suspend the strike came after crucial National Executive Council NEC meeting held in Abuja, where the union resolved to give the federal government a 1-month window to address its pending demands. Our reporter, Damilola Daudu, has the details.
The Academic Staff Union of Universities has announced the suspension of its ongoing 2 weeks warning strike. The national president of HASU, Professor Chris Piwuna, made this known during the press briefing in Abuja on Wednesday. Recall that HASU had declared a total and comprehensive warning strike starting from Monday, October 13th. HASU's demands include the conclusion of the renegotiation of 2009 federal government HASU agreement, the release of withheld 3.5 month salaries, sustainable funding of public universities, revitalization of the university system, and an end to the victimization of lecturers in LASU, Prince Abubakar Howdy Universities, and Futo. Other demands included the payment of outstanding 25 to 35 across all faculties and departments, with lecturers returning to classrooms, laboratories, and research duties.
We look at the impact on the students to start with. We never wanted to harm our students, to hurt our students and their parents. We felt, let us give the government a little more chance and suspend this warning strike, because government on its own part actually reviewed what has been done so far in terms of talk, what we disagree with, and felt that if we suspend this particular warning strike, that will, as a part of goodwill on our part to them, that will give them more, that will strengthen their hand in talking to the federal government, the principal agent that sent them to us. It was on that basis that the strike was suspended. Otherwise, 2 weeks will have ended on Sunday morning and will have come back to work on Monday.
Across the campus, students expressed relief and excitement as lecture resumed after 2 weeks disruption. Lecture halls, libraries, hostels have once again become lively with activities.
Following the news, I was like, okay, they're not going to actually unless the government actually do their biddings, they won't actually they won't call off the strike. Then in the middle of the week, out of nowhere, saying that there's actually something fishy, really, really fishy out there. But this is a country find us.
The break was nice as a student for you, because I'm a student of veterinary medicine, and really they choke us a lot of lectures. And then upon hearing that the strike was called off yesterday, to be very honest, we had classes today. I'm supposed to be in class right now for a practical else.
The students, however, appealed to the federal government to take the 1 month negotiation window seriously to avoid another round of industrial action, which they said could further destabilize the academic system. Damilola Daudu, BCOS News.
Stakeholders have emphasized the importance of early detection in tackling breast cancer, as it is responsible for the death of at least 240 Nigerians daily. The stakeholders, including a radiation and clinical oncologist at the University of Ibadan, Dr. Foluke Sarimeye, and the Chief Operating Officer Brekan, Oyo State, Promise Iheze, were discussing breast cancer awareness on BCOS Television Current Affairs Breakfast Program, AM 120. Our reporter, Olamide Owolabi, who monitored the program, has the details.
Awareness on breast cancer is usually intensified every October to raise consciousness of the people about the disease, and as well raise funds for research into its causes, prevention, diagnosis, treatment, and cure. Speaking on the BCOS AM 120 program, radiation and clinical oncologist Dr. Foluke Sarimiye identified increasing age, family history, and lifestyle changes among older women as major risk factors. She explained that this year's theme, United by Unique, emphasizes the need for personalized treatment, noting that every patient's condition should be addressed based on their individual peculiarity.
Is as a result of different things developing, the cells going through carcinogenesis and all that, and then it becomes something that lady can feel. And that is the reason why we advocate for monthly breast examination among females, clinical breast examination once in 2 years, and then annual mammogram once a lady becomes 40 years. Because what this does is that if we don't know how our breast naturally feels, we wouldn't even know if we find the lump or not. A lady wouldn't know if they find the lump or not. So it's important that our teenagers, once they start menstruation, as they go older, must be taught to have clinical breast examination. And when they get older, they will include clinical breast examination, so a monthly breast examination. As they grow older, they introduce clinical breast examination where an healthcare professional, helps them examine.
Also speaking on the program, the Chief Operating Officer, Breast Cancer Association of Nigeria, Oyo State Chapter, Promise Yezie, explained that breast cancer occurs when cells that are no longer functional continue to grow abnormally in the breast region, adding that the disease progresses in stages. He observed the need for government to provide a dedicated budget for cancer treatment through health insurance with a view to assist patients in accessing timely care.
I will always advise, divide your breast into 4 cardinal points. So you are assuming this is a wall clock. So you start, this is your 12 o'clock. So this is your 3 o'clock. This is your 6. This is your 9. So you go like that. So when you start from this, your 12, and then you are going, by the time you are getting to your armpit, that should be your 2 p.m.
Yeah.
So do not skip your armpit. Sometimes, because people forget that the breast actually takes off from the armpit region. So, and some of these lobes used to hide here. So when you are doing like this, you've ignored the one here. So you dig in here, remember that pressure. So you keep on going like that, you keep on going. You are at your 6 p.m. now. You keep going, you keep going, you keep going. You're at your 9, you keep going. You go that way. Then you bring it down. Make sure that every point on the breast is covered. You are checking. So assert that pressure. When you are done with it, then you just gently, squeeze, the nipple. You are checking for lumps, basically. And then you are checking for, is there any form of thickening inside the breast?
They both advise women to seek prompt medical attention once cancer is detected, stressing that breast cancer is not a death sentence if treated early, and encourage everyone to maintain healthy lifestyles. Olamide Owolabi, BCOS News.
Stakeholders of the People's Democratic Party in Oluyole local government have emphasized the need for unity and collaboration among party members to ensure victory in all political positions come the 2027 general elections. BCOS staff reporter Gbemisola Adebayo has the details of the event, which was held at the party office in Idiayunre, Ibadan.
Members and leaders of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, converged on the party secretariat in Idiayunre, Oluyole local government, for a crucial stakeholders meeting and the formal inauguration of the newly constituted council executive. The gathering drew prominent party chieftains, including the chairman of Oluyole local government, Engineer Akeem Olatunji, Commissioner for Public Works and Transport, Alhaji Mojid Mugmojibola, party leader Prince Lasun Salami, and the lawmaker representing Oluyole State constituency, Honorable Wahab Akitayo, popularly known as Ilumoka, among several other dignitaries. Speaking at the meeting, Prince Lasun Salami charged the newly inaugurated PDP executive led by Alhaji Nasiru Amzat to work tirelessly towards fostering peace, inclusiveness, and unity within the party. He urged members to avoid internal division and politics of bitterness, stressing that only a united front can secure victory for the PDP in future elections.
This Oluyole PDP local government meeting, it is the first we'll be holding after our successful local government congress. So, and we are here to address our party members and also to introduce the local government chairman and his executives to the old members. So, and we want to reiterate that Oluyole PDP is one, there's no division.
In his remarks, the chairman of Oluyole local government, Engineer Akeem Olatunji, reiterated his commitment to inclusive governance and promised continuous collaboration with party members to promote the welfare and development of the people. On his part, the newly inaugurated PDP chairman in Oluyole, Alhaji Nasiru Hamzat, expressed gratitude for the confidence reposed in him and pledged to justify the trust by strengthening the party structure at the grassroots. He further assured members that his leadership would focus on unity, loyalty, and effective mobilization ahead of the 2027 polls.
Inshallah, be greater to life. We will work together with my other political stakeholders and ESCO to achieve our goal. So, in this case, we will unite the agreed members of PDP and the both entire PDP. We will work all together.
The meeting ended on a note of optimism, with stakeholders reaffirming their commitment to building a more formidable PDP in Oluyole local government and across Oyo State. Bimsola Adebayo, BCOS News.
The Super Falcons of Nigeria began their title defense at the WAFCON qualifiers in Benin Republic. The first goal came at the 24th minute with Chinwedu Iheozo chipping the goalkeeper. Esther Okoronkwo doubled the tally in the extra time thanks to the assist by Deborah Abiodun. The reverse fixture will be played at the MKO Abiola Stadium in Abeokuta next week, Tuesday. For more sports stories, we now move on to our sports segment.
Thanks for joining us on the sports segment of the news. My name is Boluwaji Ogumola. The Osun State government has granted approval for Osun Babes, the state's female football team, to participate in the Nigeria Women Premier League for the 2025-2026 season. The announcement was made in a statement issued by Kehinde Johnson, the Senior Special Assistant to Governor Ademola Adeleke on football matters, on Friday in Osogbo. Johnson noted that the decision followed the state government's renewed efforts to promote sports development and enhance the participation of women in competitive football. According to him, the approval demonstrates the administration's continued support for the advancement of women's sports across Osun State. With this development, Osun Babes, one of Nigeria's notable female football teams, are expected to commence preparations immediately for the 2025-2026 Nigerian Women Premier League campaign. Celtic head coach Brendan Rodgers has provided an injury update on Nigeria international Kelechi Iheanacho. Iheanacho picked up an injury in the Hoops UEFA Europa League 2-1 victory over Austrian club Sturm Graz on Thursday night. The Nigerian international was replaced early in the game due to the setback. Rodgers has now confirmed that the forward sustained a hamstring injury and could be sidelined for a lengthy period. Iheanacho moved to Celtic Park on a free transfer this summer. He has since established himself as the club's first-choice striker. Marcus Rashford hopes to stay at Barcelona when his loan agreement from Manchester United ends in the summer. Barcelona have the option to sign the England international forward permanently for £28 million, a lower fee than the £40 million United would seek from any other club. The 27-year-old United contract runs to 2028, but he appears to have no future at Old Trafford, while Ruben Amorim is head coach. Rashford spent the second half of last season at Aston Villa, where his career was revived under Unai Emery. He took his goal tally to 5 in 12 games for Barcelona, thanks to a double against Olympiacos in the UEFA Champions League on Tuesday night. Finally, British boxing promoter Eddie Hearn has confirmed that former heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua will make a return to the ring in February 2026. Joshua has not fought since suffering a brutal knockout defeat to Daniel Dubois in September 2024 at Wembley Stadium in London. AJ has been sidelined for the majority of 2025 due to minor injuries he sustained from the showdown with Triple D. Eddie Hearn stated that Joshua has not agreed to fight in Africa this December, with February a solid date for his next bout. And that's our package for tonight. Thanks for watching.
A passenger bus has erupted in flames after a crash with a motorcycle, killing at least 25 people and injuring several others in southern India. Foreign desk editor Folashade Akintola compiled details of the story and others as presented by Bimbo Akambi.
The fire ripped through the bus on Friday within minutes, trapping dozens of passengers on Chinatekuru village near Kurnool, about 210 kilometers, that is about 130 miles, south of Hyderabad. Tropical storm Melissa has been pushing through the central Caribbean, with forecasters warning it could soon strengthen and brush past Jamaica as a powerful hurricane, while unleashing potentially catastrophic flash flooding and landslides in southern Haiti. The slow-moving and erratic storm was centered on Friday about 150 miles, that is about 245 kilometers southeast of Kingston, Jamaica, and about 270 miles, that is about 430 kilometers southwest of Port-au-Prince, Haiti. It had maximum sustained winds of 45 miles per hour, that is about 75 kilometers per hour, and was moving north at 3 miles per hour. That's about 6 kilometers per hour, according to the United States National Hurricane Center in Miami. It was expected to drop copious rain on Jamaica and the southern regions of Haiti and the Dominican Republic through the weekend, as it strengthens into a major hurricane by the end of the weekend, possibly reaching Category 4 status by Tuesday. 2 Russian military aircraft have briefly entered Lithuania's airspace in what appeared to be a new provocation from Moscow, as European Union leaders discussed how to strengthen their defenses amid deepening concerns the war in Ukraine could spill over into their locations. Lithuania's armed forces said in a statement that the 2 aircraft, an Su-30 fighter and Il-78 refueling tanker, may have been conducting refueling exercises in the neighboring Russian enclave of Kaliningrad when they flew 700 meters, that is about 0.43 miles, into the country at 6 p.m. local time on Thursday. 2 Spanish Eurofighter Typhoon jets from the NATO Baltic Air Police were scrambled in response and were patrolling the area, the Lithuanian military said. Russia's defense ministry